Number 80.
River City Ransom was suggested to me with the selling point, it's like a ripoff of Double Dragon for the NES, but co-op. And it kinda is, but it's so much more. In this beat 'em up, you play as two badass high school kids, Ryan and Alex, who are trying to save Ryan's girlfriend Cindy from several punk gangs led by some jerk named Slick. This game has a special place in my heart because of the satisfying combat system, music, and off-base humor. There is a shop called the Teabag hidden off to the side of one of the markets. You can order an employee at a fast food chain to smile for you, and later in the game, there is a sauna that you can use to reveal the cheekiest moment in the game. This game kicks Double Dragon's butt.
The Simpsons Arcade game is a Konami-released beat-em-up that ate our quarters ever since its release in 1991. It features fast-paced 4-player action with players being able to select from Homer, Marge, Bart, and Lisa. You battle your way across 8 stages as you chase down Waylon Smithers and Mr. Burns in an attempt to rescue Maggie. The game has many show-featured characters and the title theme music as well. Controls are sharp and precise and very reminiscent of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade, with the awesome addition of tag team maneuvers, allowing 2 players to come together for an extra powerful move. I spent many hours and tons of quarters at our local bowling alley playing this amazing beat 'em up. Very difficult to me, but always super fun as well.
Splatoon for the Wii U. Splatoon is one of the only games I've ever wanted day one. It was an instant hit in our house. Playing online, whether with random people or friends, is so much fun. Painting the battlefield in your team's color is so satisfying, whether it be by paint gun or roller, which is my favorite. And even more satisfying is when you splat your enemy. Plus, I enjoy the campaign and hearing Captain Cuttlefish tell me his stories. My kids ask me to play it because they just love watching the game. The colors and the graphics are great. They especially like multiplayer gameplay to see if I get placed on a team with high-ranked players. This game is good fun for all, whether you're playing or watching.
Street Fighter II Turbo. Street Fighter II Turbo is awesome. It's a very good improvement over the original Street Fighter II on the Super Nintendo, and the addition of the boss characters from the first game as playable characters in this game, as well as the sped up gameplay, just make it a much better experience. Street Fighter II Turbo is probably the quintessential fighting game on the SNES platform, and it's one of my favorites.
The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is without a doubt easily the most interesting entry in this storied series. With a unique approach to side quests, time management, Majora's Mask offers a world and setting unlike any other Zelda title, and I find that always makes me want to revisit it, especially due to the focus on side quests to earn optional upgrades and materials for a more fleshed out story. While the Zelda series shows continually that it's going away from this style of narrative, I really wish one day they would revisit what worked so well with Majora's Mask. It is without a doubt one of the weirdest titles that Nintendo has ever developed, and one that I wholeheartedly recommend you play.
Number 75.
Super Castlevania IV. With 3 predecessors to live up to, Super Castlevania IV had its hands full trying to please and satisfy its eager fanbase. Taking full advantage of the Super Nintendo's Mode 7 capabilities and adding enhanced 8-direction whipping controls, Simon Belmont never looked and felt so good slaying bad guys, bats, and beasts with his iconic whip. Basically retelling the story from the original Castlevania on the NES, fans were not disappointed with this supersized iteration. With larger sprites, a fantastic soundtrack, and all the nuances and atmosphere you'd expect from a Castlevania game, Super Castlevania IV is a must-have title for your SNES collection, and one you're sure to go back to again and again.
But a scientist would not be bound by petty morality. I chose to build rapture.
Bioshock. Bioshock is a spiritual successor to the System Shock series of games, but having not played any of those, I had little interest in Bioshock at first. Then the reviews started coming in, and they couldn't be ignored. I'm glad I listened and gave Bioshock a chance. The combination of first-person shooting enhanced by the special abilities granted by plasmids made this more than your typical shooter. The game also offers the player a variety of approaches for tackling enemies, including using environmental hazards or hacking into security systems. The player also has the option of performing research tasks, which yield additional boosts for defeating enemies. In addition to these excellent game mechanics, Bioshock also has a first-rate narrative, with one of the greatest video game plot twists ever. It was one of the first great games of the 7th console generation, and is one of my favorite video games of all time.
Rocket League. Rocket League has a strange concept, but it's really hard to put the controller down once you've picked it up. In Rocket League, you drive a car in a huge stadium with a big ball in the middle. Players have to drive their cars into the ball to make it go flying. You score points by getting the ball into the goal hoops. Does all this sound familiar? If so, you might be catching on to the fact that this game is basically soccer played in cars. As strange as it may seem, it is actually really addictive. This game can be enjoyed across multiple fun game modes, most of which are online, although you can play a single-player campaign. This game is really fun and I highly recommend it. It has good graphics, fun gameplay, cool customization, and an overall fun experience.
This pathetic planet from the face of the galaxy.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is still arguably the greatest Star Wars game ever made. This fantastic RPG, developed by BioWare, really established their mechanics from previous D&D style RPGs into a more modern system for their later titles such as the Mass Effect series. But regardless, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic tells a fantastic story regarding Darth Revan and the fate of the Old Republic, a setting that is still one of the most interesting locations and eras in all of Star Wars lore. While Knights of the Old Republic has aged mostly gracefully, it is a bit difficult to get working on modern PC systems, but the engrossing characters and narrative and one of the greatest plot twists of all time ensure this is a must-play RPG for Star Wars fans and RPG fans alike.
Number 71.
Mega Man 3. What can I say? Mega Man 3 shows us that even perfection can be tweaked. In the third entry, we get a dog sidekick named Rush, we meet Proto Man, and most importantly, we're given the slide ability. Once again, the music and level designs are fantastic, and there are even some throwback moments to the second entry. Mega Man 3. It's Mega Man 2, but better. And if you don't agree, you can send all of your hate tweets to @CartridgeBrosP2, and we can have a discussion about it.